Tonight on Living the Dream,
Pretty windy.
the rookies fight the elements,
You can get in a bit of trouble here if you don't know what you're doing.
but reap the rewards when they get to Australia's most beautiful beach.
And this is it, the world-famous view of Whitehaven Beach.
Stunning, isn't it?
Plus, Maxine takes the helm,
Turn! You're not turning!
Sorry, my bad. I got messed up with my angles.
and then helps Libby rescue a turtle.
This turtle's been sick for quite a while.
I get up close and personal with the sea life,
Oh, you just hit my finger. Ow! Jeez!
and Wildflower gets a costly lift.
You nervous?
Yeah, stressful as hell. If you start spending thousands on taking care of the boat, you're definitely gonna have to shorten the trip. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Today, it's our first sail away from the protection of the island.
Hey, it's a bit different today than it was the other day when we came out.
Yeah, it's pretty windy. Actually, what is it? 14 knots at the moment. I know you're really worried, but I have absolute confidence in you. And I just follow instructions.
It's Maxine and my first offshore sail, really, together alone.
We're in strong winds, the boat's heeled over, there's no room for air today.
We just tacked, now we're heading south. Yeah, butterflies in my stomach. I don't know why she has confidence in me. I need to build some confidence in myself, I think. I still feel like vomiting every time I get out here by myself. But we're floating, so that's a good thing.
What I've learned about Dan is that there's a lot of stress for him around this whole business of sailing.
In the Whitsundays, you expect it to be sunny and calm. But it is winter, and it can be stormy, it can be windy, it can be rainy. You can get in a bit of trouble here if you don't know what you're doing.
The boat is this whole big thing that you've got to take care of. So many things can go wrong. And he has a far greater appreciation of how many things can go wrong than I do. And so that weighs on him a lot more than it does on me.
The wind's right on the nose, so we're just zigzagging, and it's tiring.
It's exciting, good.
It's exciting. She finds excitement in it. I'm still not sure. Part of me thinks I'd rather be on my motorcycle on a twisty road.
I never have this problem when I'm motorcycling, but I'm not a sailor. And I haven't settled into it yet. I think it's gonna take a long time for this to feel like it's a natural thing.
I'm enjoying it.
You're enjoying it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel more confident with being at the helm. I haven't had to do much else, which is good, because I can only really cope with one thing at a time at the moment.
I still worry too much about everything. Maybe I'm not a good enough sailor to be out here doing this, and that's why I'm worried all the time.
I know you keep saying this is really the hard part, but I find it exhilarating. So, that's good. How are you finding it?
Still not in my blood yet for some reason. I think I like the sitting in the cove drinking Corona better than I like the sailing bit, but I'm learning.
I keep thinking, what if something happens? What if something bad happens and I don't know how to deal with it? And Maxine gets hurt because of that.
Well, today, no one got hurt. And after 3 hours of tacking into the wind, we arrived safely at this beautiful little anchorage.
We made it. First we went to Border Island, but all the moorings were taken, so we came over here. It's called Dumbbell Island, and there are only 2 moorings, and we were lucky enough to find one. It's deserted apart from a bunch of tourists who are just about to go snorkeling by the looks of it, which indicates it must be pretty good snorkeling. So, I think we did good, babe.
As windy as it was out there while we were sailing, this little island is quite protected. It's flat, there's no swell, and no wind. It's absolutely beautiful. Sometimes you luck out when your first destination is unavailable. It's the journey, not the destination. I kind of like the destinations. How do you like holidays so far?
This spot is perfect. I like it where it's really peaceful.
Three days later, we're motoring down to Tongue Bay to get our first look at the Whitsundays' most famous attraction, Whitehaven Beach.
We just left our snug little anchorage. It's really lovely up in there, and as you can see, it's not lovely out here. The wind's blowing 40 knots. We don't have the sails up, and we are going to turn downwind. So once we get through this little pass, we should be okay. How you going, Max?
Okay, I love it.
I really like being at the helm, and I really hope I can master it because that will free Dan up to run around and look after everything else.
I'm staying up here under the Dodger. Keep me dry. Let Maxine deal with the wind.
I really love it when the boat's tipped on its side and we're cutting through the water, and it's just really exhilarating.
I'll let him believe that I don't like this bit, but actually I secretly do. This is the fun part. Yeah, whoa, look out!
Personally, I hate strong winds. I just want it to be about 12 knots all the time.
I know Maxine says I'm a control freak and I worry all the time. And I do worry about stuff, but I don't look at it as worry. I look at it as being prepared for any negative possibility. So I prepare myself for the worst. That way, when it happens, A, I'm not surprised, and B, I'm prepared. And I think that's how you stay ahead of the game.
Yikes. That's scary.
Even though, you know, he's a pessimist and is very risk averse, and I find that frustrating at times, I also know that that's what keeps us safe.
I am a fair weather sailor.
You can't go into an adventure and just assume everything's going to work out, because it doesn't. And you're naive if you think it does. The ocean's full of dead people who went into adventures thinking, oh, it'll be fine. I don't intend to be one of them.
Here we are, though, safe at our destination.
This is Tongue Bay, and we're going to climb up to the top of this hill so that we can look down the length of Whitehaven Beach. It's supposed to be spectacular up there, so let's go for a hike. It's such a picturesque walk. It's just like it's been landscaped with all these beautiful xanthorrheas. Oh, look, here's a fact about xanthorrheas. Growing 1 to 2 centimeters every year, grass trees can live as long as 600 years. Ooh. And this is it. The world-famous view of Whitehaven Beach.
Growing up in Australia, you see a lot of really perfect beaches, but Whitehaven Beach is the most perfect of all.
I think what makes it really special is the sand is whiter than white, and it's got all these swirls of turquoise mixed in amongst it.
It's beautiful. We're going to walk down the mountain now and go hang out on the beach, but the shots from up here are great. And as you go up the estuary, there's a catamaran sitting way up in there that came in at high tide, and they'll sit there until high tide again because they can't get out of low. They're just sitting up there on the sand, which you can do with catamarans, which is really cool. And, yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? Look at it out there.
We found a little beach bird, and it had its little nest of eggs there. It just doesn't make sense that you build a nest on the beach in the open and then have to spend all your time guarding your eggs, but that's the way it works. And I know you're probably saying, what kind of bird was it? But I'm not David Attenborough, and I didn't bother to look it up.
Don't worry, Dan, I've looked it up for you. Just for the record, it's a pied oyster catcher.
Coming up,
You're off the wind right now. Get back on the wind and get some momentum.
Maxine struggles,
This is not what I do. I'm not a sailor.
plus Wildflower's close encounter.
You need to go starboard.